Part 2, I apologize. So what we were told was that we can multiply the 6 by the 6, add 1, and then we put that over 6. I call that we get mad. Because we multiply, we add, and we divide. So we multiply the 6 times the 6. That gives us 36. We add 1, which makes it
37.
And we divide by what?
6.
So we're going to get mad. We multiply, we add, and then we divide. Some like my little phrases, others don't. That's okay. But if I say that we need to get mad to do something, we know that we're going to convert to an improper fraction. And we don't like improper fractions very often. So those make us mad. Do they not? Yeah. And when we see an improper fraction and I tell you to simplify, that makes us mad because we don't like to simplify, right? Okay. Questions about this part? We good? Okay. The second part of that example in part B, it says negative 23. How do I write negative 23 in the form of A over B? I need a denominator. Yes, ma'am.
Negative 23 over 100.
Not over 100, because that would be negative 0.23. Yes, sir.
Negative 23 over 1.
Negative 23 over 1. There's two different ways that I can write that. I can write negative 23 over 1, or I can write that as negative 23 over 1. The difference is where I put my negative sign. As long as I have one negative sign present, it does not matter where I put it. I would recommend not putting it in the denominator, but as long as you have one negative sign present, we're good to go. Does everybody understand that? So as we're working problems, do we need to pay attention to the location of a negative sign? Can we find it in multiple locations? Yes, so we're going to have to pay attention to those details. All right. Let's look at example 2 real quick. Okay. Example 2. In example 2, we are asked to write 0.64 as a fraction in simplest form. Writing a decimal as a fraction sounds a lot harder than it is. Okay? We had, what was my decimal again? What was my decimal?
Oh, 0.64.
0.64? Okay. Thank you. Alright, as a fraction, how many decimal places do I have? 2, right? Okay, so I need 2 decimal places. And can I have a denominator of 0 in a fraction?
No.
No, so I'm going to put a 1 in front of it. What's my decimal value? I now have a fraction, correct? Okay. If everything was greater than 1, what was my denominator? 1, correct? Because I added decimal values, that means that we're looking at a smaller part, correct? That means we need to add zeros here. The number of decimal places tells me how many zeros I need. So if I had 4 decimal places, how many zeros do I need in my denominator? 4. If I had 3, how many zeros do I need? 3. If I had 6, how many decimal places do I need? 6. So we're going to look at our number of decimal places, and that will tell us how many zeros that we need behind that 1. Now we need to simplify. Is there anything that I can divide 64 and 100 by? Yes. I can divide by 4? Okay. What is 64 divided by 4? 16. What's 100 divided by 4? 25. Is there anything that I can divide 16 and 25 by? No. Okay, very good. Could I have divided by 2 twice to get to the same place? I could have, yes. Very good. Questions about this? What if we had, in the second part, 9.67